Hey performers, welcome back. So recently we did a video about some of the greatest entertainers who also happen to be bass players. We were looking at performers who were not necessarily the greatest players of their instrument, but were great on stage as entertainers and just happened to play that instrument. We're going to do that again today with a different instrument. Guess which one? Guitar players! Welcome back to Danny Robertson Music, where we try to help you become the best possible performer that you can be on whatever stage you choose. I'm Danny Robertson. Thanks for joining us again this week. If you haven't seen us before, do me the favor of subscribing to the YouTube channel, liking or commenting on any of our videos, and join our email list at DannyRobertsonMusic.com. Guitar almost goes hand in hand with rock stars. It is the instrument that most of us, when we're growing up and get into music, that is the instrument most of us think of to go, if I want to be a rock star, I have to play guitar. Jimi Hendrix to John Mayer to B.B. King to Zakk Wylde to Slash. The list goes on and on of great players who are incredible at the instrument. I do think a common misconception about guitar is that in order to be good enough to play live, you have to know everything about the guitar. You need to know scales like pentatonic, mixolydian, Ionian, harmonic minor, all of those things. You need to know the caged system so that you know how your way all around the guitar. And the truth is that you can be on stage and knowing all of that stuff and playing all that stuff really well and still look boring to watch. So really what it comes down to is how good of an entertainer is someone. Today we're going to look at 5 guitar players who may or may not be the best instrumentalist on their guitar, but they are great entertainers. The first performer I gotta go with is an oldie but a goodie. He wrote one of the first famous rock and roll songs, and not only is he really good on his instrument, but he was really, really fun to watch. He had huge facial expressions. He had dance moves that kind of went along with how he played the guitar, things like the duck walk. It was really fun to watch him play. And of course, I'm talking about Chuck Berry. Take a look. The second performer we talk about today is a great entertainer who was from this little known band from the 1960s called The Who. Known for great stage antics like the windmill, sliding, and things like that. This performer was also a pioneer in using things like arpeggiators in keyboard synthesizers to create additional unique sounds to their live and recorded music. I'm of course talking about Pete Townshend. For our third performer, I thought we'd have some female representation on this list. She was not just a great guitar player, but she was the epitome of a rock star. Let me ask you a question. Who would be the first name that comes to mind if I were to say, think of a female rock star that plays guitar? Need help on this one? I hate myself for loving you. Or, I love rock and roll. She had the black hair, the leather jacket from the Runaways, and then later on from the Blackhearts. We're of course talking about Joanjett.
Saw him dancing there by the record machine. I knew he must have been about 17. Till it wouldn't be long that he was with me. Yeah, me singing, I love rock and roll. So take time and dance with me.
Our next performer was probably the best instrumentalist on this list, but he was also an incredible performer, and he wrote some amazing songs. Things that made us hot for teacher and made us want to jump. His style was wild and over the top, and when we think of big 80s hair bands, these guys would probably be on the top of the list. He played with his brother and a few others in a band called Van Halen, and of course I'm talking about Eddie Van Halen. Before I tell you the last performer, of course I've got to tell you that this list could have gone on for miles. I'm just picking 5 performers that I personally feel are or were at the top of their game. Now that being said, there are a lot of entertainers that also could have been included in this list, so I'm just going to say some quick names.
B.B. King, Eric Clapton, Yngwie Malmsteen, Keith Richards, Joe Perry, Jimmy Page, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Slash, Randy Rhoads, Bob Marley, Neil Schon, Carlos Santana, John Lennon, John Mayer, John Denver, James Taylor, Paul Simon, Glenn Frey, Don Felder.
There's a bunch of names that I could have thrown in here, and if you feel like somebody was missed on this list, just put it in the comments below. The last performer on our list is only known by one name. I've brought him up recently as he famously played at a Super Bowl where it was raining. He had big, elaborate stage outfits. He also had a really cool looking guitar that he regularly played on stage. His music is incredible. Our last performer is Prince. I I hope you enjoyed this group. I wanted to point out that there's a couple things that are very important to remember when you're performing on stage. One, you can practice until you're blue in the face, but if you can't get out on that stage and perform in front of people, you're doing yourself a disservice. It's a two-sided coin. You have to learn to get better at your instrument, but you also have to learn to get better at being in front of people so that they are entertained. Unless you're planning on being a home musician that only records in your basement. I mean, look, I'm doing that sometimes, so it's okay to do that too. Just remember that your ability to play an instrument goes hand in hand with your ability to perform in front of people. They are equally important because one without the other doesn't really work well. You have to learn to work on both. Second thing I want you to realize is that some of your musical heroes out there might not be actually that great at their instrument. They just have a look or they are good performers on stage. But that doesn't count for nothing. You don't have to be the best player in the world to get out on stage and have a little fun with an audience. Trust me, I'm proof of that. I'm not a great player, but people remember my performances a lot. And number 3, if you're struggling to want to get up on stage because you think you're not good enough, just do it. Go find a place to perform at and give it a try. You'll have fun. And you might make a few mistakes along the way, but that's okay. You're allowed to do that. You're human, okay? So get out there and have a little bit of fun performing. That's it for this week. Thanks again for watching. I wish you the best of luck on your next big performance, even if it is a coffee shop. Have a lot of fun with it. Best of luck to you there. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you soon. Take care.